In this video, I'll be reviewing the last year 3 Lovevery play kit, the Analyst for 46, 47, and 48 months old. When I first started doing Lovevery reviews, I didn't think I would ever run out of play kits to review, but after a blink of an eye, 4 years has passed and my son has gone through every play kit. So how's the Analyst play kit and is it worth it? First, I'll go over each of the items inside the play kit and give you my feedback on it, and afterwards I'll share with you if it's possible to find alternatives to recreate this play kit experience on Amazon for a lower cost. This play kit has a total of 8 items including the play guide, so 7 for your child and 1 for the adult. The Montessori sensory box focuses on developing your child's sense of touch along with helping them understand descriptive language. There's a couple ways to use the sensory box. You can simply place the items inside and ask your child to find the matching ones based on their sense of touch only. Or you could place only one item in and ask them to find the other one just like it. Either option is a great way to start introducing descriptive language to describe the various properties from texture, length, weight, and temperature. Some example words you could use are smooth, round, soft, cool, and heavy. You can also use other objects inside the box such as pom-poms, stones, feathers, or rubber bands, so you're not just limited to the items included inside the play kit. My son had a blast with this and for the most part just saw the whole activity as a game and didn't even know he was actually learning. The pattern matchboards and card set is a great way for a child to translate 2D pictures into 3D objects. Recognizing and manipulating shapes are foundational parts of math development. This activity is pretty easy to understand as the goal is for your child to recreate what they see in one of the cards. In order to match and reproduce the patterns, your child will require the use of hand-eye coordination, visual spatial abilities, symbolic reasoning, and as well as some trial and error. The sewing kit helps your child continue to develop their fine motor skills. You will need to help your child out by cutting the thread to the suggested 47 inches long and knotting it so that thread doesn't get pulled out through one of the pattern holes. I want to point out that these patterns are made of fabric, so it'll be pretty hard for your child to rip them. Sewing requires the use of both hands at the same time, which is an excellent way to build patience while also developing the coordination and muscular strength necessary for handwriting. I didn't think my son would be too interested in this activity, but he's been having fun learning how to make all the different patterns. The color theory puzzle, in my opinion, is probably the most difficult item inside this play kit. It's not like a traditional puzzle where your child just matches the shapes, but here they're putting pieces together based on the colors. The completed puzzle shows how colors blend into one another and serves as an introduction to the concept that a color can come in many different shades. My son still hasn't mastered this yet, but he's been getting better and better the more we do this. The book at first glance might seem like a cookbook, but it's actually about teaching various concepts like quarter, half, and whole. The story is about a boy and his father using measurements, sequencing, and fractions to follow a granola bar recipe. As usual, the real pictures really bring the book to life and draws my son's attention, bringing us to the next 2 items in his play kit, the recipe cards and the stackable fraction cups, which makes him very interested to use because of this book. The stackable fraction cups is to help your child visualize parts of a whole. They probably won't fully understand fractions for a while, but these cups give them an idea of the relationship to one another. You can do something like show your child how 4 quarter cups equal a whole cup by filling the quarter cups with water 4 times and emptying it into the 1 cup measurements. Make sure to count as you go. There are 3 recipe cards tucked into the back of the book. These aren't your typical recipe cards, but more visual ones, which is great for your child to easily understand. Each step has very easy to understand pictures, so your child knows exactly what to do next. On the bottom, they even have a nice picture of the fraction cup and ingredients to use. The back of the cards do outline how parents can prepare the environment and ingredients so that our child can complete the steps semi-independently. After reading the book, my son took a huge interest in making granolas like Arun and his dad. He had a blast following the directions and of course super excited to finally eat the treat he made. Only thing is that I wish these recipe cards were made of waterproof material as it's only paper, which means if it accidentally gets wet or something, they're not going to last too long. As for the play guide, I'm going to assume that you didn't start considering Lovevery play kits on their last box and already know about the importance and value of the play guides from previous kits. But if you don't, watch one of my other review videos after this one to get a feel about what they're about. Now let's see if I can recreate this play kit experience. I've been finding that with each play kit, it seems to be getting harder and harder to find true alternatives that cover the same teaching points as the Lovevery play kit toys. Give or take, this Melissa and Doug pattern blocks and boards has a fairly similar concept to the Lovevery version. Of course, I think the boats are a bit more fun for children. Sewing kits aren't hard to find, but an age-appropriate one is a bit harder to find. Most of the ones I found were rated for older children, as they tend to be closer to real sewing kits versus Lovevery ones that just kind of teaches a concept to make their fine motor skills better. This sewing kit set, for the most part, teaches the same concept and seems to be age appropriate. Before I even started looking for anything on Amazon, I knew the color puzzle was going to be a harder one to find an alternative for due to the puzzle difficulty and the unique concept. Most color wheel puzzles were actual jigsaw puzzles, which are a little bit too hard for children this age. The closest would be this color puzzle that shows you how the three primary colors mix together to create secondary colors, but it's really much more simple and easy compared to the Lovevery one. Finally, something easy to find an alternative for, measuring cups. I have no idea which handle is easier for children to use, but the measurements on these are exactly the same as the Lovevery set. It's only fair that after an easy one to find an alternative for, I run into the Montessori sensory box, which looks simple, but is actually very hard to find anything similar to it. I might not be searching for the right terms, but I couldn't find anything even close to this. This sensory matching game has a similar concept, which you match based on touch, but obviously it's different in that you can see what you're touching. Most recipe cards I found that were catered for kids were blank ones, but a cookbook would teach about the same thing. I haven't read this book before, but from the description and reviews, it seems like a good book to introduce fractions, which is very similar concept to the book that Lovevery includes. If you add up all the items I mentioned, it would bring the total to $114.83, which is just a bit less than the actual Lovevery play kit costs. This might lead you to think, well, maybe I should just buy everything that you mentioned to recreate this experience. But with such close values, I would still say based on the quality and actual teaching concept, Lovevery comes out on top. And don't forget, I didn't calculate the value you get from the play guide, which I easily think is worth more than $6. Considering that factor, if you ask my opinion, I think this play kit is well worth it. Lovevery has done all the research and conveniently put all the items and guide into an easy access subscription box for parents. Although at $120, it isn't cheap, I think it's well worth it as there's definitely a great educational value inside this play kit. I have to say I've been a huge fan of Lovevery as they offer toys that are not only fun for children, but also help them learn. And with all this said, sadly this probably will be my last Lovevery review video, well at least for play kits. They do make new items every now and then, and I still haven't had a chance to make a video about the block set. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.